Hello everyone and welcome to our very special Halloween stream. My name is Leal and today we're gonna be having some fun. So it's very cold over here. It's I don't know, like 5 degrees or 7 degrees Celsius, and yeah, it's very early as well. Where are you guys? Where are you guys at? Because I know it's probably very early as well for you, or a little bit later depending on what part of the world you're in. So today we're going to be going through the full like a pipeline. Mimit, go. Hi my friend, welcome to the stream. We're going to be going through the full pipeline. That's going to be the challenge for this 2 hours. We're going to try to do a sculpt inside of ZBrush. We're going to prepare the element for what is it? We're going to prepare the element for like retopology and then textures, and then we're going to try to get it inside of either Unreal or Marmoset or something, or Blender for further render, right? But we need to decide, what are we going to do? Are we going to do a jack-o'-lantern? I actually wanted to do a poll. I know we have a few viewers right now, but with any amount we're going to be able to do this. Let me get this. There we go. So let's do a very quick poll, and the options are as follow. What should we sculpt? We can do a jack-o'-lantern. We can do a skull, like a flaming skull or something like that. We can do a like an imp or something like that, and let's try, of course, a zombie. So those are gonna be the options. Let me know what you guys think we should be doing today. I wanted to do the jack-o'-lantern. That's like the main idea that I had, but hey, let the people choose. Let's see what we get. The poll should be on the top of the chat, so if you guys want a vote, it's gonna be right there. If there's no votes, we're just gonna go with jack-o'-lantern. So let's see what we get right now. Got my hot coffee, and yeah, we're about to. Ooh, we got imp or zombie. That's interesting. That's an interesting tie. We need a tiebreaker right there. Anyone want to do a tiebreaker, or are we gonna go for a roll? We're probably gonna have to roll on the computer, like a flip of a coin or something. Are we flipping a coin? Okay, we're gonna flip a coin. So let's go. We're gonna flip a coin. If it's heads, flip coin. If it's heads, it's imp. If it's tails, it's zombie. So we get heads, imp. We're gonna be doing an imp, a little mischievous, interesting imp. Cool. So imps are a very cool like thing. They're of course like little demons, but I want to go a little bit more stylized. You know, I don't want to do just like a traditional little demon with wings and stuff. So let's very quickly go into ZBrush and let's start thinking about what are the main shapes or what are the main forms that we're gonna be like capturing with this particular element. So I'm going to use my move brush. Whenever we're starting the sculpting process, or at least at the beginning stages of the sculpting process, you always want to try to keep your brush at a very big size and focus on the big shapes. So I definitely want to make him kind of like a hunchback effect. There we go. So this is a torso. I'm working kind of like on the torso and a little bit of the hips right here. There we go. Now, imps are usually, not always, but usually really slim. They're like if they are not, or they don't have a good nutrition or something. So maybe that's something that we can go for. Or we can try to like break the mold, right? And try to go for something a little bit more original, like a fat imp, or like a very tall imp, or like a very short imp. But there's a lot of options that we can go for. They definitely have this sort of like goat feet or goat legs. I'm gonna do it a little bit stylized, by the way, because otherwise I don't think we're gonna have enough time to do a realistic one. So let's do, ooh, Jabba the Hutt is a nice, interesting reference. Oh, this one's very cool. Oh, should we do this one? That one looks very nice, like a monkey imp or something. That one looks really cool. I'm gonna use that one as a big inspiration. So let's start creating the main forms here, which will be like the rib cage, the pelvis, and where the arms are gonna be. Now I'm gonna press Control and we're gonna mask out where we want the neck to be, invert, and push this out. You can see here, if we're gonna be using this reference, that this guy has not a lot of neck, to be honest. I'm gonna use the inflate brush, and I like to inflate this to generate like just basic shape of the head. Then when you smooth out, you get like the new resolution, and you're just good to go. So I do recommend having a little bit of a neck, otherwise it can be a little bit tricky to rig the character later on if we want to rig it. But I like this sort of like strong jaw that he has. I feel like that's very fun. So we're gonna do something similar, which means that with my clay buildup, I'm gonna start building a little bit of a very strong jaw right around here. Let's use our move brush again. You guys, did you guys see when I was a kid? Like this was not when I was like super small, but when I was a little bit older. Fairy Odd Parents, of course. The Nickelodeon series, you know, Timmy and Cosmo and Wanda, these guys, and I always had a lot of fun with the Red Chin character. I don't remember what the name is in English. I saw it in Spanish, of course. It was Barbilla Roja in Spanish, and I always find that design like very interesting. So let's go with something like that. Go with some like big eyes over here. Let's add a little bit of eyebrows. Cool. Now for the arms, there's multiple ways to do the arms. I want to show you a very like nice way that I like to do arms sometimes, which is with C-spheres. People underestimate, I think, C-spheres quite a bit, and they're really powerful because they can allow you to build your element, your character, or whatever you're doing very nicely without that much of an issue. So I'm gonna use this C-sphere right here. Crimson Chin, is that that was the name in English? Nice, Crimson Chin, there you go. So I'm gonna sketch two spheres right here, of course with symmetry turn on. There we go. And then it's just a matter of like pulling these guys down. And I like this sort of like gorilla, like a character that we have right there. So I'm gonna have him be like a gorilla imp. So maybe he's gonna have like really like short stubby like wings or something. It's gonna be that one right there. And let's add the thumb. And let's do 2 fingers to keep it simple. 2 fingers. Scale this one with E. We're gonna scale this C-sphere. And then with Q, I'm gonna draw 3 C-spheres. They're gonna be the fingers. And with a very small draw size, we're just gonna push them out. I'm gonna break them, of course. Well, not break them, but I'm gonna add the division at least on the thumb, and that's gonna give me a nice like effect right there. Now on the main body, you can see it's a little bit taller, so I'm gonna go to this guy again, create a new C-sphere, bring it down, and this is gonna be the hips right around there, and then we're gonna create the hips right there actually. And let's do the legs. So that one doesn't seem to have like trilateral legs, but I'm still gonna go for them. So trilateral legs are some very like common legs that you see in animals, where you're gonna have the thigh, and then the lower leg, and then these things right here are actually like the metatarsus, and those metatarsus are the ones that are pushing like forward. And then we have the actual like fingers of the feet, and that's what you would see. Something like this. Of course, we need to fix the pose a little bit, but this one's a good blocking for the character right now. So I'm gonna go all the way down to this option that's called adaptive skin. And in adaptive skin, I'm gonna do a make adaptive skin. This is gonna create a skin C-sphere over here. And at that point, I just need to append that sphere right there. You can turn off the C-spheres. And if we go over here, we're gonna have this. So again, it's a fun little way to create a base mesh, which is always one of the questions that I get, is like, how do you start a project, right? Well, just doing a basic C-sphere rig or C-sphere armature, it's a very good way to start as well. Now with this, we can start playing around with some of the proportions. So I'm gonna make the shoulders a little bit wider. The hands were probably going to be like moving them or changing them. And as you can see, this one definitely is off balance. It looks like the character is falling forward. So here we have a couple of options. Either we make him be a 4-legged imp, or similar to this, we just like modify the pose a little bit so that he doesn't look like he's falling over. How are we gonna modify the pose? With masking. We're gonna mask like all of the torso right here. Invert the mask. I'm gonna rotate this around. Actually, we're just gonna grab everything here, all the way to the knee, and then we're gonna rotate back. And then we're gonna grab like all of the abdomen right here, position the pivot point right here, and rotate forward. I might need to, now it looks like he's about to be sitting down or something, so we're gonna select everything again, place the pivot point right around there. It's a matter of finding the proper balance for the character. There we go. The arms are definitely going way too sideways, so I'm gonna like mask them out as well. Move the pivot point to the shoulder area and do something like that. The hands, usually this is something that I critique quite a bit in some portfolios that we go over. The hands are usually facing inwards, so I know this is gonna break the geometry, but this is just like a base mesh, so it really doesn't matter. Gonna do something like this so that the hands are pointing in. There we go. And we're gonna be fixing all of that stuff. So horns, of course, let's append a sphere. And we're gonna have, say, one horn right around there. I'm gonna use my move brush again, and I'm just gonna give it an interesting horn for the thing, for the imp. There we go. Smooth this out. And that's just, again, just a base mesh for the whole thing. I know right now it looks very, very weird, but keep in mind that we're gonna have like the teeth and everything right here. So this is just a very basic sketch to get ourselves an idea of how the character is gonna be looking. My God. So let's, of course, mirror and weld. There we go. And this is gonna allow me to change a couple of things about the horns if we need to. Ugh. I just start freaking explaining and my allergies come back. I hate that. Okay, cool. I definitely think that the chin is way too much right now, especially because we don't have enough neck to support all of the geometry that we have here on the underside of the chin. So let's add a little bit more geometry there. Perfect. Same thing over here. A little bit on the hips. Does he have a tail? He does seem to have a tail. So I'm just gonna use the snake hook here. Keep my little character. I don't know. I'm gonna give it like a small, like, or I don't know, reptile tail or something like that. I'm gonna delete the hands. Actually, they're bothering me a little bit. So let's delete these guys right here. Just gonna say delete hidden, and we'll rebuild them in just a second. So right now he's just gonna have this sort of like stumps on the arms. There we go. And then wings, of course, he's gonna have some wings. I'm not gonna add the wings as part of the geometry of the main geometry right now, because wing membranes can get a little bit tricky. So I'm just gonna have like a little sphere right there. I'm probably gonna be building the wings armature later on. And you can just imagine that this thing that looks super ugly right now, it's eventually gonna be the wings. I actually want to have like super long arms. I think that's gonna be like quite cool. There we go. Let's mirror and weld. Perfect. So eventually those are gonna be like the wings. Again, this is just a very early like construction of the element. We've only been working on this for what, 10 minutes, and it's just to get a general idea of how the character is gonna be looking. Now I'm gonna go over here, and here's a very like interesting thing that you can use to design your characters. I call this the Popeye rule. So hopefully you guys remember who Popeye is. I didn't really see it too much as a kid, but my parents did. It was a little bit more old school. Not that. It's a restaurant. This one right here, the little guy, or the guy that eats spinach and stuff. So the Popeye rule was a design principle that a good teacher of mine told us, that says that there are certain parts of the body that you can exaggerate, and there are certain parts of the body that you can't or should not exaggerate. So for instance, if you're designing an alien, you design like the head and the torso and everything, you can add short arms and very long forearms. Okay? So if you do a short arm and a very long or very big forearm, you're fine, because the range of movement kind of gets like multiplied. There we go. Alex Farnes, welcome man to the stream. So when designing, same thing for the legs, you can design a very short upper leg and then a very long lower leg. And this is going to give you an alien design or a creature design that is functional and works. Why is this? Well, because the range of movement again kind of like gets multiplied, right? It's like a chain. So if you have a small chain, this small chain has a very wide range of motion, and from that point you're going to have another range of motion with the lower arm or lower leg. However, if you do the opposite, if you're designing a character and you do very long arms and then very short forearms, yes, you're gonna have a very wide range of motion with the arm, but then this one's gonna be like very small and very like non-functional. And I call that the Popeye rule, because he used Popeye as an example, and I always remember it that way. So if you're gonna exaggerate something, always try to exaggerate things going out. And there's a very famous artist, he worked on the Cloverfield movie, his name is Neville Page. If you haven't heard of him, you guys have been living under a rock. He's one of the guys, like I always find Neil Page very interesting, because he's like a super top artist as well, but maybe he's not as like famous as Rafael Grassetti, right? Who's like a rock star in our 3D world. But a lot of the monsters that he designed, including the Cloverfield monster, follow this rule. Look at this. We got the arm, like a relatively short arm compared to everything else, and super long, like a lower arm. He even like extended here the wrist, so he's got like a triple like bent arm. You can see the same on this design right here. He always goes for this very like psychedelic designs, very cool looking, to be honest. And that's the rule there. Like you always want to try and exaggerate the things that are further back. Daniel, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. So in this case, that's what we can do. So if we want to exaggerate something here, it can be this guy's right here. So I'm gonna like just mask this out, invert the mask, and we can exaggerate the forearms right here, like really long forearms. Look at that. I'm gonna have them right there. Oh, careful when you're like moving things around. If they touch each other, they're gonna be like merging. You don't want that. I'm gonna have this one's like right around there, and then from here, let's tie the mesh. From here, we're gonna have the hands. It's gonna be a creepy looking guy. He's gonna be able to kind of like walk like a gorilla, but at the same time he can be just like flying with this very like elongated arms and eventually elongated fingers as well. So for instance here, let's dynamesh, and we can imagine that there's gonna be like a thumb right there, finger right there, another one right there. And fingers, I usually like to give them a little bit of a bend, otherwise the hand looks very unnatural. So let's do that. You can see that we're losing a lot of volume there. No problem, we just inflate this whole thing, and it's gonna give us a very interesting and nice idea of how the whole thing is looking. It's like a yeah, we're going for like a, I mean it's an imp, so it's like a flying demon, right? But yeah, it does feel like a flying imp or flying bat. Let's move all of the subtools. I'm gonna rotate him here a little bit. I kind of want wings to be kind of like holding him up, so something like this. Perfect. And now it looks like he's actually like flying. Let's grab the foot here, and again let's just rotate this down. Oh, without that, so it looks like the feet are pointing down. So yeah, look at that. That's a good, I would say, a good proportion, an interesting character. And now we can start building the main factions. So I'm gonna isolate this character so that we can focus on just the character. And we're gonna keep it very simple. Like I'm not gonna do like muscle fibers and anatomy and things like that. Welcome, Ref, to the stream. Welcome, my friend. So I'm going to change my clay buildup to a round alpha. Whenever I want to do soft things or more natural looking things, a round alpha is really, really good. And what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to be simplifying the muscles or the main muscles that we would expect to have on a character like this. So for instance, on this guy right here, this is going to be the deltoid muscle. I think I was talking to David yesterday. He's going to be joining us very soon. And I was talking about it and how I would love to do an anatomy course. So maybe not too far away in the future, we're going to be doing an anatomy course as well, like a full anatomy course. We do cover anatomy on the like demon course that we did recently on the stylized like ZBrush character creation, but I want to do like a very in-depth dive into anatomy. So this is going to be the tricep muscle over here. There we go. And then very important, this is one of the muscles that people struggle quite a bit with. It's called the external carpi radialis longus. It's a very complicated name. It's called the external carpi radialis longus, and it's called the brachioradialis. It's two of them that are really close together. So it's right here. Both of them start right around here. They create the volume. You're gonna see the silhouette on the side of the arm. They create the volume, and then they go towards the arm or towards the hand. You're gonna see the volume here, and they're gonna roll around. They actually go towards the palm of the arm or of the hand. So you're gonna see them kind of like roll around, and that's one of the things that gives the silhouette to the arm muscles. On the other side, we're gonna have a lot of muscles as well. These are called the extensors, and as the name implies, they're gonna be the ones in charge of extending our arm. I'm gonna use trim dynamic to remove a little bit of volume from this area. The arm is kind of like a chicken leg. So we're gonna have most of the volume on the upper part, and then it's gonna go towards bones, which is our wrist. It's a very common like shape that we're gonna be seeing on a character like this. So I'm just gonna start like carving a little bit of that effect. And for simplified characters, for sort of like cartoon looking characters, this is more than enough. Like you don't need to add like all of the fibers and things like that. As long as you have the main silhouettes, you're gonna be good. Now on that wrist, we do have two little bones, one on one of the sides and the other one on the other side. And I like to add them, especially in stylized characters, because it really like accentuates the division that we normally have right there. Look at that, not bad, right? Now for the chest, again, on this reference, oh, I lost the reference. No, where is it? It's right here. For this reference, it's got a very like traditional chest anatomy. So we can go with something like that. So that means that we're gonna have a chest muscle, like right around here. And then we're gonna have a little bit of a rib cage. I'm gonna hide the arm a little bit. I'm gonna change to select lasso. I'm gonna hide this arm so that we can work a little bit better on this like inner area. With them in the standard, let's just like cut right there. So this is gonna be my pectoral muscle, which is gonna be going towards the arm. On this upper area, I would expect to have a very like traditional muscle, which is called the sternocleidomastoideus muscle, which goes from the from behind the ear to the center here. And then on this side, I would expect to see the trapezius. And again, very big muscle, and especially this guy that's supposed to be like hunchback. You're gonna see a lot of muscle and a lot of volume in the back part. One thing that we're definitely missing are ears. I forgot to add the ears, so I'm just gonna like mask on this area. There we go. And then with our gizmo, we're just gonna extrude out Dynamesh. Give them a little bit of curvature. We're gonna make them very goblin-like. Big ears. Let's go for big, funny, cartoony ears. Nose. Do we add a nose? Usually these guys don't have a nose, right? Or at least it's like this very like demon-like sort of nose. Oh, that's a little bit high. There we go. So let's add a very basic nose right here. And let's just keep adding things. Whenever you were doing sort of like simplify or stylized character, one of the secrets is to simplify, to keep it simple, right? To don't add too much detail, just add the main things that make the character look like the kind of character that you're going for, and that's going to be like literally more than enough. So the success of an element, it's on its simplicity. Aki Senpai, why you not make videos on Nextdude? Thought that was your channel. Oh, that's a long story. I'm not sure if I want to do or explain the whole situation there. Sarn, welcome, man. Welcome. So the main thing, my friend, is no, Nextdude is not my brand. I was an employee of Nextdude for several years. I think it was like 3 years that I worked for them. And at one point during my time there, they asked me to be the one that like represented the brand in YouTube and uploaded all that content and stuff. As you guys know, there's multiple instructors that are hired to do the tutorials there for Nextdude. Unfortunately, there was a point earlier this year where the goals of the Nextdude brand and my goals as an artist and as a person were no longer aligning. We were like looking for different things. I wanted to focus on building a community, on sharing 3D with the world, and on the other side, well, let's just say that the objectives were a little bit different, right? So I tried negotiating and finding a way in which we could, keep working together, but unfortunately, we couldn't really get to an arrangement. So I decided to step down. It was not like they didn't fire me or anything. I just decided to step down, and I created my own channel. And now our channel, do you guys see, we are almost at 4K subs. Like this past week, our channel just exploded, and we went from like 100 to almost 4K in less than 5 days. It's been crazy. In our Discord channel, I think our Discord channel is one of the most active Discord channels of the 3D world. Like I'm willing to bet it is a very active community on our 3D world. We have a lot of stuff, and I've been very happy with the decision. SM Milan says, I'm glad I found your own channel, to be honest. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm not like angry. I've mentioned this before. I'm very grateful to the opportunity that I was given at Nextdude, because I learned a lot of things by being there. But yeah, there comes a point where you might not feel completely part of the direction that the company wants to go. And in this case, I just decided to do my own stuff, right? So yeah, that's pretty much the story. But yeah, like even at this yeah, a lot of people thought Nextdude was mine because I was pretty much the face for the last couple of years. You guys saw my face the most in YouTube and things like that. So that might have given a little bit of confusion, but no, I was not owner or anything. Yeah, thanks, Eki. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna continue to say this. Like, I know I'm no longer part of Nextdude, but I am very proud of the tutorials that I did for Nextdude. Unfortunately, well, those tutorials don't belong to me anymore. So if you buy those, you're of course gonna be getting a very nice amount of knowledge and information, but it's not part of our channel anymore. So I'm not getting any revenue from my old tutorials, only the new ones, which is the ZBrush, the Blender, and the Maya course. Those are the new ones that are part of our new brand right here. And I'm working on more, by the way. I'm just yesterday I finished recording the first chapter of the new course, which is going to be a full character pipeline, including a lot of Marvel's Designer. So that one's going to be a fun one. I kind of want to give him like big spikes on the back. So spikes on the back usually start small and then they become really big, and then they become smaller again, kind of like the protruding bones, right? But yeah, I've always said this, like life is it's like the Forrest Gump quote, right? Like, life is a box of chocolates and you never know what's going to happen. Well, same thing. Like, I thought I was going to be at Nextdude for a long time, and I never thought I was going to have my own brand. And hey, here we are. Almost 4K subs or subscribers or followers in YouTube. We got what, almost 500 here, 554. By the way, our goal today is 600. Imagine that. No, our goal today is 460. So we're just 6 followers away. If you're not following and you like the content so far, make sure to hit that follow button. Yeah, we got I think almost 1,000 students on our new Udemy courses as well. Our Discord servers is almost at 2,000 like members as well. Very active. So yeah, it's been very, very cool. We need to get to 1 million subs. See, I think by December this year, like my goal, hopefully we can get there, is to get to like I'm not sure. It's a little bit ambitious though, because it's only 2 months, but maybe 10,000 subscribers in YouTube by December might be an interesting goal. Here in Twitch, I think 600 followers by December. It's quite realistic. Okay, let's go for the horns. Actually, let me add the eyes. I feel like we need the eyes. So append, we're gonna append the sphere. We're gonna select this sphere. And we're gonna position it. Right there. I definitely want some like bulgy, like cartoony, stylized eyes. Something like that. We're gonna say again a mirror, and there we go. Ah! Wait a second. Oh, there we go. So mirror, x-axis. There we go. And with that done, now I can go here, increase the resolution a little bit. And remember, anytime you add a subtool, the subtool is gonna act as a mask. So you're gonna be able to sculpt around it like this, and you can see that the eyelids become a lot easier to just like sculpt around. Let's carve in a little bit more. That's where the mouth is gonna be, and we're about to add the teeth in just a second. Yeah, it's been a really quite a wild ride this past couple months. The one thing I do regret is that I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to the old community. I tried. There was a video that I uploaded, but it didn't last. So unfortunately, I don't know if there's a lot of people out there that still don't know that I'm no longer part of the Next2 team. And I do feel that I owe them a way to reach out to them, but we're getting there. They're gonna notice the YouTube channel soon enough, I think. We're getting there. Pretty sure most of my loyal followers, my loyal students are here already. So that's really cool. By the way, at the beginning, you should have recorded that video on your channel as well. I still have the video, but I feel like it was I'm not sure, like a little bit of a necessary drama, and you know I don't like drama as much, so I figured, hey, if people ask, I'm just gonna tell them the truth, which is that we were no longer working together. But I felt that I didn't want to hurt the brand, you know, like not their brand or my brand, so I really don't want that. Blackboy says there's also an option to stream from Twitch to multiple platforms at once while merging the chats in those platforms into this one. You should check that out. Yeah, I did check it, Blackboy, but there's a thing, and I don't want to risk it. There is a term of service that if you're a partner, I'm not a partner, I think I'm an affiliate right now here in Twitch. But if you're an affiliate or a partner, you shouldn't do that, because technically you're like exclusive to Twitch. So if you do that, you run the risk of getting like banned and just like losing everything. So, and I do like the YouTube live, but I find that this one's a little bit funner. I don't know, we have a lot of more stuff, so I like this one as well. Let's go. Cool. Okay, let's add the teeth. So I'm gonna append a new sphere. We're gonna make this sphere smaller. I'm gonna scale it up. Actually, let me show you guys. This is a very common thing to do, but it's a tool that not a lot of people use. I don't know why. I'm gonna just grab a sphere, like a traditional, like a sphere over here. Oh, this one. I'm gonna make this a polymesh 3D. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sculpt a tooth right here. Let me, by the way, very quickly quick save before anything bad happens. There we go. So here, I'm gonna use like the knife curve, for instance, and I'm gonna trim this into like a tooth shape. There we go. Then I'm gonna use trim dynamic. Let's do Dynamesh. Let's go over here. Shabin, what's up, my friend? Backboy says, yeah, so I'll be explaining the terms. It's fine as long as you don't redirect people from Pitchwin to the rest of the platforms. We'll drop. Okay, yeah, if you can drop that, that would be great because, yeah, I mean, if we can get more people to watch this, that's amazing, right? Yeah, the cool thing is when I decided to make the jump, I already had a lot of things in place. So my logo, the die logo, was from my old studio, Critical Hit. I already had the Twitch page. I already had the Facebook stuff. So of course, David here helped me quite a bit. Is helping me quite a bit with all of the social media stuff. And yeah, it's been a fun ride so far. Like it's October. We started this at the end of June. So like in June 26 or something. That's when I think it was June 23 when I dropped the video and I left next to it. And I started working immediately on the new course, which was the Axe course, the triple. What was it? I always forget about the name. but yeah, it's been a fun experience so far. Okay, cool. So we got the teeth right here, right? It looks nice. It looks like interesting. We can trim this down. In this case, it's a sort of like a wide like fang, right? I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner. So I'm just gonna use my move brush to kind of like push it around and make it a little bit of a thinner teeth. And here's very important. I'm gonna rotate this so that it's facing me. So like right around there, perfect. And then I'm gonna press B and I'm gonna create an insert mesh brush. It's a new insert mesh brush. And now if I go back to my character right here, not that one, this one, I'm gonna go to this sphere. And using that sphere kind of as a placeholder, I'm gonna be able to, as you can see, insert the teeth right there very easily. Okay, so it's a very, very fast way to create this sort of thing. So I'm gonna do that, and the cool thing is the pivot point is gonna be on the base of the element, so it's gonna be fairly easy to find the proper position for this thing. So there's gonna be like some big fangs right there. Let's add the smaller ones right there. Let's add some other ones right there, and other ones right there. It's not very functional, the mouth, to be honest, but it looks cool. Make those a little bit shorter. Oh, careful there. I merged them together at one point, so remember when you're moving things inside of ZBrush, you want to be very careful not to touch them with other elements. Because if you do, you might get a weird interaction. There we go. Sick Boy says, hey, I'm learning character art. Is it okay to create character from base mesh? What do they do in the industry? I heard that they use base mesh. Is it true? Yes, of course. So as a character artist, when you're first learning, my advice is try to do everything from scratch. Why? Because you're going to learn. You're going to learn a lot. If you try to do a male character, a female character, a monster, a creature, whatever you do, if you do it from scratch, from absolute scratch, you're going to learn a lot about proportions, about like the tools inside of ZBrush or any other software. So there's a lot of learning to be done by doing it from scratch. However, on the industry, you don't do it from scratch. So for instance, right now on the on the course that I'm recording, on the new course, since it's an intermediate to advanced course, we're not going to start the female character. We're going to be doing a female character, and we're not starting it from scratch. It's we're using a base mesh, and we're doing the cloth for the base mesh, and then we're going to be optimizing, sculpting, and doing the whole drill. But it's not going to be from scratch because it's a waste of time. From an industry perspective. From an artistic point, it's always good to do it from scratch. Now, one thing that I was mentioning is that it depends a lot on the character. For instance, if let's say we're working on God of War, right? Like Grassetti and Kratos, I'm sure he did Kratos at least from a very simple base mesh, but his anatomy is very unique. You're not gonna find a base mesh with Kratos' anatomy on the internet anywhere. you need to sculpt that from pretty much scratch. But a like one of the zombies or one of the like an NPCs, maybe even Loki, you know, from the first game, like that's a very basic human anatomy, so you don't need to do a lot of like fancy stuff. You can just reuse whatever base mesh you have available in the studio. And usually studios, big studios, are gonna have their own library of base meshes with their like style and proportions they're gonna be using. I know, for instance, Blizzard does that. Blizzard, for World of Warcraft and stuff, they have all of the base meshes for orcs, for dwarves, for elves, for all that kind of stuff, and then they just tweak it around, because again, it's from a production perspective, it's quite a bit of a waste of time to not do it that way. Okay, let's go with the horns now. So, oh, I like that silhouette. That's really cool. Make the base a little bit wider. Let's just smooth things out. And I'm going to use Dynamesh, and I'm going to use my knife curve to... Wait a second. There we go. I'm going to use the knife curve to kind of like sharpen this up a little bit on the top. There we go. Keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. Sarn is asking, do you think Blizzard can make a comeback? Oh, man, see, I think the last time I played Blizzard, or I engaged with this... Oh, it's a long story. Okay, so I played a lot of World of Warcraft back in the day. I started playing, and back then it was very difficult for us in Mexico to play like original servers. There was a lot of piracy back then. But a friend of mine and my brother, we decided to pay the price, which was quite hefty at the time, and we started playing Lich King on the Lich King expansion. We played quite a bit. Like, one of my friends, a neighbor of mine, he became top 3 warlock on the server. He was like on a super fancy guild and everything. I never went that high. I was a hunter back then, but ranger, is it a ranger or hunter? And we fell in love with the game. And then Cataclysm came, and we felt like it didn't really hit the mark after Lich King, so we stopped playing. But then came Mists of Pandaria, and we came back, and it was a very fun experience as well. We played for a long while, and then it was like on and off, right? So I came back with my brother in Legion, and I really enjoyed Legion. I think it was a fun expansion. But after that, I heard that they really didn't like nail the things. So I'm not sure how World of Warcraft is right now. Overwatch, that's another story. I think that they've really fucked up Overwatch, to be honest. Not on the design. The design is always beautiful. Like, art in Blizzard is always beautiful, but the monetization, the promises that they make, and all of those sort of stuff, like, I feel like they really dropped the ball. And the one that hurts me the most is Diablo 4. I was very, very hyped for Diablo 4. I played the beta. I really liked it. And then when it dropped, I feel very guilty because I made my brother-in-law and my brother pay for it. Like, I was like, hey, let's play it, let's go all together. It was 3 of them, or 3 of us, and then it just sucked. I know they've been making some changes, but right now I haven't played, so I'm not sure how good it is, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be doing it or giving it another chance soon, because there's other games that I want to play. But yeah, I just feel like they dropped the ball quite heavily on Diablo 4, and that was like the last straw for me. There you go, Sigbo. You didn't realize you had the sub? Yeah, someone gifted like 3 subs last month. I really hope they do, because again, I love the lore of the games, and I remember, again, when I was younger, reading the books and everything. It was very fun, and the characters and the design. I mean, I've told you guys before, the Wrath of the Lich King cinematic, the opening cinematic that they did, that's one of the things that inspired me to become a 3D artist. So Blizzard to me is a huge part of my professional and my artistic career. But unfortunately, I know it's mostly executive decisions, and that's a very unfortunate side of the video game industry nowadays, that there's a lot of decisions that's being made by higher ups, right? Like, not actual like players. It's more about people that have or write the checks, and they're like, yeah, this is not gonna work, so we're not gonna do it, even though it will work or might work, and it might be better for the game. So yeah. Yeah, and I do feel like they need to go back, but I'm not sure. For instance, I know there's the WoW classic thing where things feel like it's classic and you don't have a lot of like the things and elements. I don't feel that's the route, because I'm also not a huge proponent of just like remaking the old things and not innovating. It's just about like the focus. Like they need to focus on the community, on the players. Like do things that might not be the best decision money-wise, but like they're not gonna break you, right? And you're gonna get happy customers and happy players. Hardcore. I've never played hardcore. Hardcore is the one where if your character dies, it's dead, right? Like it's gone. Yeah, I've never played that one. The updated high-res one-day release of War Classic or Yoga looks so good too. Have you watched the cinematics they have been commissioned? No, I haven't watched the cinematics. I've been quite far from Blizzard, to be honest. I'm gonna need to check that out. Okay, let's go for the legs. The legs are looking very, very wrong right now. Yeah, no, lately I don't have a lot of time to play. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, but I have a little girl. She's 2 years old, 2.5 years old. She's quite young. So when you have a young kid, the time to play gets quite reduced, to be honest. Yeah, you can link. Let me allow that one. There you go. We got an auto moderator here, so some messages sometimes get blocked. Don't worry, we're here. As long as it's not something offensive or anything, you guys are fine. Have you watched the songs from KDA? Yes, yeah, of course. Huge fan of League of Legends as well. I played actually when I was at Nomen, some of my friends there, my colleagues, they were playing League of Legends. They were the ones that got me into the game, and after that I got my brothers into the game, and we played for like several years, to be honest. I think I played from like 2013 to like 2017, so like 4 years. A lot of money spent as well in that game, and it was very, very fun. But there came a point where, if you guys have played League of Legends like long enough, you know that it's just like you just get burned right from the. It's a very like intense game, so I understand why people get very mad and very frustrated, and the tension and the anxiety is really, really high. So there was a point where my brothers and I were like, nah, it's not worth it anymore. Let's play something else. Message getting lost in the feed, Shavin. Let's see. Oh, it says, hey, I have sculpted a Kindred mask by watching your video, and I placed it in a scene in both Unreal and Blender. There is a bit more to do in that. I would like to add that into our folder. Yeah, that's fine, man. Add it. No problem. Yeah, a lot has changed. And then I came back a little bit like a year ago or something, just to give it a shot. I couldn't get it. And I played the Legends of Runeterra, the card game. That's the one, right? That was very fun as well. But see, a lot of the competitive games, and I feel like that's like something that cannot be avoided about like competitive games, is that you will get into a meta. Like there's always going to be a sort of like strategy that's the best strategy, and if you don't play by that strategy, it just like you're not even playing, right? You can play for fun, but there's other people in the team that are gonna try to play for the win, and that can get like very, very complicated very, very fast. I was wondering how people like Hurricane Machinima were doing those trailers. They have access to engine and then animating. Yeah, it's probably that they're animating it on engine, like if you were animating in Unreal Engine, but they add more things to make it look a lot nicer. So I'm sure I've shown you guys this before. I worked with the team on a commercial. Diablo Immortal battle at home screen. So back when Diablo Immortal was gonna release, this was like 2 years ago, I worked with a bunch of people on this commercial right here. Very cool one. I'm not gonna play it like all the way around, but the cool thing about this one was that it was all done inside of Unreal Engine. So all of the animations, well, not the animations, but all of the rendering, the assets and everything, it was Unreal Engine. Looks very cool. You guys look it up. It's called Diablo Immortal Battle at Home Screen. I was in charge of retexturing the Barbarian. I did the textures for the axe. I did some texture touch-up for the wizard as well. And I did all of the texture organization for Diablo and for the imps. There's another imp right there. It actually looks like the imp I'm doing right now. I guess I had some conscious things right there. So yeah, that was a very fun project, and this was all done in Engine. So we did all of that inside of the Unreal Engine, and it's just that when you render, it's not going to be rendering in real time, right? It's still going to have to do a render, but it's going to be a way faster render than if you try to do it inside of like Maya or Blender with Cycles or Arnold. Like, that's how they do the Fortnite things. Let's see. He said he was using AI to upres the regular walk textures. Yeah, and I'm guessing that was in Photoshop. I'm not sure how he did that, but yeah, you can use AI to upres things. Moxid asks, hey Abe, a question. Where to study 3D characters modeling, like in college or something? Here in India, there are not much college or institute. Oh, that's a very tricky question. See, I don't know what the current like education situation is in India. In the United States, of course, you got Dolman, which is like an amazing school. That's where I went. But I am a true believer that nowadays, due to how information is being like shared and how you can access information from anywhere in the planet on your computer, there's a lot of things that you can learn on your own with like tutorials. So for instance, we got the ZBrush tutorial. I'm not sure if you have checked it out. Sorry, if we could link it, that would be great. But that's a tutorial where I cover like a full stylized character with props and everything to for ZBrush, right? Now, what is the main advantage? And I've talked about this several times because this is I've actually had, I'm not sure if I've told you guys this, but I've actually had parents call me and be like, my son likes video games, he wants to be a character artist or a video game artist, what should we do? Should we buy him all of the courses online and get him like trained, or should we go and pay for college? And it's a very difficult question. I hate when parents, I understand their questioning, right? Because they're trying to find like the best for their kids, but I feel like a lot of responsibility having to give an answer about that. And my answer is like, the information is out there. You technically don't need a school or a college to get the information. However, the habits that you're going to be creating, the relationships that you're going to be forging, the connections that you're going to be making, all of that is very complex to do if you're not in the right place. So going to a college, going to a school will give you those sort of things. But unfortunately, I've also heard like horror stories about people paying a lot of money to go to some universities, and then the education that they're getting is very outdated, or the teachers are not really caring for them. I had a student last year that I was coaching, and he said that he spent, I don't know how many like rupees in India for an education, and they were still teaching like box modeling in Maya, when no one right now does box modeling. I mean, you do it every now and then, but they were doing like the face, like a character's face box model way, and like once you have ZBrush and all these things, you really don't do that anymore. So it's definitely tricky. Let's see. Mike Johnson, first time chat. He says, do you think finding a job as a junior in 2023 is still possible? Yes, it's very possible. It's very, very possible. So yeah. However, you're not gonna find, and this is again, we gotta be very honest here. I've always I've always been very blunt and honest in regards to job and money and things like that. You're not gonna find a junior position in Blizzard, okay? As your first job, it's very, very difficult that you're gonna be finding a junior position open in Blizzard. You're gonna have to be really, really, really good if you're gonna be getting one of those positions. Why? Because there's thousands of students in the world. Like, everyone who does 3D wants to work for Blizzard, right? So if you want to get the junior position at Blizzard, which they do open every now and then, you're gonna have to work a really, really, really freaking hard. But there's a lot of studios out there, some studios that you might not even know about, some studios that are doing projects that will never be like super famous or anything, but those are perfect ways to start. I'm gonna give you an example here in Mexico. There's a very famous studio here in Mexico. That was actually my first job back in 2011. It's called CGBot. So CGBot, they're an outsourcing company. They work for a lot of like big companies, including Blizzard, and they always have like positions open. They're always looking for more people. It's like that office right there. I was actually, if I'm not mistaken, I was in that like seat when I was working there, on this one right here. That's not me, of course, but that was the seat that I was assigned. So again, this was like, what, 12 years ago, 11 years ago. So it's been a long time, but there's a lot of studios like this. So these are the kind of studios where you're going to be learning a lot and building an even stronger portfolio so that you can get into the big studios. Blizzard, like if your dream is to work for Blizzard, you should see that as a sort of like a marathon, and Blizzard is the end game, right? So it's going to take a while to get there. It might take you 5 years. I've seen people that has taken them 10 years to get and work for Blizzard. So if that's really your goal and you're quite like set on it, that's perfectly fine. But you gotta be aware that there's a lot more people that are also want to get there. And as a company, it's not Blizzard to blame. Like they're always gonna pick whoever is the best option for them, right? So we can't blame them. It's not like they're being unfair and they're not giving you the chance. It's just that that's the end game. That's the best one. That's the AAA. It's like being the lead actor in a Hollywood movie. How many actors do we know about that never got like a huge leading role? But that doesn't mean that they're not actors. It's just that opportunities are different for everyone. So let's say Black Ops says, be careful. Some schools use the students to get the money from the government and don't teach well. Yeah, it sucks, but it happens. I'm learning 3D my own. It's been almost 2 years, and I would say learning your own is very lonely and boring, but I can't afford art school, too expensive. Okay, Senpai, that's where we come in, because that's why we have the Discord community. And that's one of the things that you need to, I'm not sure, I think you are quite active there as well, but it's very important that you are active online so that people know. And I'm gonna give you a very like classic example. I have a small studio right here. Right now we're only 4 artists. So it's very, very small, but I know that if I need help, the first people that I'm going to be contacting are the Discord channel that I've talked to, that I see are active, and that I see that they have good work, because there's a pool of amazing artists right there that will be, I hope, will be open to work for a projects that I'm going to be leading, right? Right now, we don't have the budget to do that, but eventually, if we need to, that's how you get noticed. If you've never talked, if you never share, if you never like are active in the communities, then it's going to be very difficult for people to interact with you, and therefore know that you are a very like proficient artist and are ready to do some work. So be active would be my advice. Like comment, talk, say good things about other people's works, ask for advice, ask for help. One thing that I used to do when I was at Nomen is I would approach someone working on their computer. I would say hi, of course. I wouldn't be a crib or anything, and they would be like working on a character, on a vehicle, and I would always ask them, it's like, how'd you do that? How did you do that specific part, or how do you do this specific like element? And people are not assholes, right? Like people are gonna be like, oh, I use this tool, this tool, and this tool. Sometimes they're like, oh, I'm very busy right now, but I'll teach you later. It's like, oh, okay, fine, and that's it. That's how you improve your connections. That's how you build up your network. And you learn, which is very important, because then later on the reverse is going to happen. Like people are going to come to you and they're going to be like, hey, how'd you did this? It's like, oh, I just did this and this and this. Okay, can you teach me? Of course. And then you teach them. That's how I became a teacher. Have I told you guys that story? It was very fun. But I was at Nomen, and I was doing a character, by the way, and a friend of mine, Christine is her name, she came around and she was like, hey Abe, I'm struggling with a knee. I can't sculpt the knee of my character. I'm having a little bit of an issue. Can you help me? I was like, yeah, sure. So I stepped up and went to her computer, sat down, and I was like, okay, so this is the knee. The knee has like this elements to it. You need to sculpt it like this and this and that. Make sure to keep an eye here and here. And she was like, Abe, you explained freaking amazing. Like, have you considered being a teacher? It's like, huh. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe not in the near future, I said at that time. But then, yeah, life just took me that way, and I realized that at least that's what people say, I'm good at explaining things. So that's how you find also your like talents, by interacting with people, because sometimes we are not aware of our strengths and our weaknesses, and we need someone else to show them to us. And once you learn from that, you become a better person as well. So it's all about connections and connecting with people. Not really connections. It's about connecting with people, I would say. And I know that we as artists, we tend to be very lonely, very reclusive. I'm personally am a very reclusive person. I when I started like doing these things like YouTube, you can go and watch some of the old Next to videos and you're gonna see how like shy and naive I was. But you only learn by doing it. And that's how I met your mother. There you go. I also think that for 3D, you do need to have a very strong sense of self, like motivation. Like I've seen that students or friends of mine that are self-thought driven, like they can learn a lot by themselves, is very, very strong. I remember, again, back in Nomen, one of the things that I always struggled with was displacement maps. Like I could never make or have my displacement maps work the way I wanted to. And it was like, how am I gonna be an artist if I can't make a freaking displacement map work? And I at that time I was using RenderMan as my render engine. I really liked it. So I went to the documentation and I read and I read and I read and I read again until I finally got my freaking displacement maps to work properly. And I remember that took me like 2 or 3 weeks of just like trial and error, trying with a sphere, trying with a character, trying with a freaking, remember I was doing like a just like a normal wood beam or something, and it was not working. And then eventually, as you keep learning and learning, that's how you solve your problems, and that's how you become a better artist. Son says, years ago when I was just starting 3D stuff, I thought in a year I would make 5, 10, 15k US per month on easy. Yeah, money is tricky in this in the industry. I know some artists that make a really good amount of money. I know some artists that struggle to get by. Right now, I'm gonna be honest. Right now, the situation with all of this like actors thing and writers things and inflation in general and things like that, it is a complicated time to be an artist. It's not impossible, but it's definitely complicated, and you need to, like, I would say like 10 years ago when I first started, you could be a mediocre artist and still get a good job because no one else knew 3D. Nowadays, you need to be a good artist to get a good job. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. That would be my like summary of that thing right there. Moxit said, hey, my parents are asking me for an art degree. Is it good to study in abroad, or degree is not much for art jobs? Like it will open you some doors because it does carry some, especially depending on where you're going, of course, but it will give you some, again, some connections and things like that. But the most important thing for artists is their portfolio. So you need to focus on having a good portfolio. I remember when I was deciding on where to go, I, of course, made my research, and for me, there were 3 big options. I could have gone to Full Sail University, which I believe is in Florida. I could have gone to BFX, which is in Canada, or Nomen. And one of the things that, or one of the elements that made me decide to go for Nomen was the portfolio of the school. Because Nomen had the closest style to the style that I wanted to do, which was this sort of like semi-realistic, realistic thing, while the other ones were a little bit more cartoonish, kind of like Disney Pixar style. So I would recommend that you go, if you're going to go to a school where it fits your sort of like a goal. Because one of the things that is very horrible is to go to a class and then the teacher has a style that's completely different from yours, and you're like, I'm not learning anything. I'm wasting a lot of money or spending a lot of money on techniques and tools that are not for the style of things that I want to do. So you gotta be a little bit mindful there, I would say. Oh, Moxie says, no, you're telling to Moxie. I have a law degree taken like 8 years ago, working as a marketer for big and small companies. Oh, that's you, son, right? Yeah. Yeah, the paper is weird, man. It's really weird. Like, I'm gonna give you guys an example. When I first like came back here to Mexico, the first type of jobs that I was getting was 3D renders for architects. And I remember that some architect friends of mine or acquaintances were really mad at that, because they were like, how come you don't have an architecture degree or any sort of like a like building degree or construction degree, and you're making like nice money from renders that I should be able to do? It's like, well, I'm a 3D artist, so I can do renders. I'll do renders, and I don't need to be an architect to do a render. Of course, I'm never going to be able to build a house by myself. I need an architect to design it and everything. But that's one of the things that I would say as a 3D artist. If you keep your mind open, there's a lot of opportunities out there where our skills are useful. You can see it now with 3D printing, again, rendering, digital marketing, all of these things that are important for the world to function. We as 3D artists, we have a very like nice, very nice opportunity there to make a good living out of those projects. However, I do feel like people very often they get like focused or too focused on just doing games or just doing films. Like, yeah, if you want to do that, go for it. Like, I'm never gonna like kill anyone's dreams, but I'm just saying those industries are competitive. So if you don't want to do that sort of like a corporate race in the industry, then again, there's a lot of options out there. A lot of options to use your 3D skills for other types of things. There was I have one guy on my Instagram. He does medical models. So he will scan or grab MRI scans from people, and he will do like brain models, bone models, organ models, and I think he sells those to like medical professionals and things like that. And he uses ZBrush. So his day-to-day is ZBrush, is sculpting, and that's the kind of stuff that he does. So again, as I mentioned, there's a lot of things that you can do, but you just need to keep your mind open for those sorts of opportunities. Backboy says, I'd love to work anywhere as a junior artist, just to experience what it feels like to work with other artists instead of being a one-man army artist for the occasional commission that appears this much. It's tedious. Yeah. This is an advice. I often give this advice. It's not for everyone. So don't, because I've gotten some critiques when I've talked about this. The first job that I took, and again, that's why I'm saying this is not for everyone, I did it for free. So I went to a studio after I've had learned like the basics of 3D, and I was like, hey, can you let me work here? I'll bring my own computer, a laptop in that case. I'll bring my own softwares. Just let me help you. I think I did that for like a month or something. I just want to learn. I just want to like see how things are done. Don't pay me. I'm just an extra hand. Like, I'm gonna do whatever, a barrel, a trash can, whatever you tell me. I just want to learn. And they did. They accepted me. At the end, they did give me like a very just like a symbolic payment there because I was helping. But that's how you meet people. That's how you can get. That's one way in which you can get people. I know that not everyone can afford. At that time, my parents were kind enough to support me for that brief moment and be like, yeah, like just do it, get experience. That's fine. So if you can afford that, to just like talk to a local studio and be like, hey, I'm a 3D artist. I want to learn a little bit more about the industry. This is my portfolio. I'm not looking for a job. I'm just looking to like get to know you guys or whatever. Can I help you? Can we do like an internship, even if you don't pay me, just for me to understand how the production works, how other artists work together and stuff like that. And I mean, you might get rejected at first, right? But eventually there's going to be someone that be like, yeah, sure. Like, we can use it a pair of extra hands. And if it's free, they're going to take the opportunity. And then you take the opportunity to learn. Again, I know that that's not for everyone, because I know that sometimes, like, I couldn't do that right now. Of course, I got a family to support, but it's definitely one option. Sick Boy says, Harambe, what's up, man? Good morning. Sick Boy says, is it necessary to learn both stylized character or realistic characters? I would say learning realistic will teach you a lot about stylized. So it's kind of like learn the rules and the canonical things first, and then you can break them with stylized things. So I would probably go for that. We got 3 Taoist. Thanks for the follow, man. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. There we go. There you go. 3D. Yeah, man. Good question. Can Maya achieve good realistic simulation? Yes, of course it can. Bifrost. Have you seen Bifrost? Dude, Bifrost is super, super powerful. Like, really powerful. I'll do a video soon about Bifrost. It is technical. It is a little bit, it's not difficult, but it is a little bit tedious. But yeah, you can do really good simulations. I actually find it funny because a couple of years ago, was it like a year ago or like a year and a half ago, when Blender came up with its geometry nodes, people were freaking out. It's like, oh my god, geometry nodes, they're so cool, they're so amazing. Bifrost has been doing the exact same thing for like 5 years. However, they have a horrible marketing strategy, so people think about Bifrost and think that it's like super hard, and it's the exact same thing as Geometry Nodes. Well, not the exact same thing, right? But it's very, very similar. It's node-based, it's procedural, it's like moving values and elements around to generate things. So it's just about how they've marketed it along the way. Now, another thing, Backboy, and this is something that I unfortunately never had the chance to do, but I would have loved to do it back when I was in a situation like yours. There's more people like you. Like, I'm sure in the Discord, there's a lot of people that are feeling the same way. It's like, I would like to work on a project with more people. Just to start a group. Like, just go in the Discord and be like, hey guys, I don't know. I remember back in Noman, there was this idea. We're gonna do skins. We're gonna do like ward skins for Dota 2, which I know are something that you can sell. So I need a concept artist, I need a modeler, and I need an animator and rigger. So 3 people. You could be the modeler, right? And you just like start doing it. Like, you create your own team, you're the leader maybe, and you say, okay, we need this concept artist, you need to finish the concept in like 1 week, and then I'll do the model and everything in another week, and the animator is going to do it in another week, and we're going to give each other feedback to get this thing to look as nice as possible. And once you have that, there you go. Like, that's it. You just like upload it, and maybe it sells, and you just go like even parts with everyone. Like that sort of stuff is it's important. Milange, are you doing one-on-one type of classes? Yes, I do have private sessions, private tutoring sessions. You can contact me on Discord and I'll give you the rates. There are like 1-hour sessions. We go over whatever topic you want to talk about. I'll give you some homework, and you just work on it on your free time, and then I'll give you support. So I do mentorship. It's called mentorship. I do mentorships. Yeah, 3D Aoist, how do you pronounce your name? Daoist? 3D Aoist. Well, game jams are also a really good way to meet people. Go to conventions. Like here in Monterey and near my city, they're gonna have like the Comic-Con. It's called La Combe. It's gonna be very, very soon. It's in November. I'm not gonna be able to go, unfortunately, but those are a really great place to go. Actually, let me show you guys. Sure, I'm getting distracting, but you guys are asking great questions, so let me see if I have some pictures here. You're gonna see my old. Let me see if I can change. Oh no, I can't. Okay. Oh, that's a shame. So actually, let me see if I can. We're gonna go down memory lane very quickly. Critical hit. So you guys know, or I've mentioned this before, but when I came back from Noman, this was back in 2016, I founded this academy, which was called Critical Hit. Unfortunately, the pandemic killed the academy. I had to sell everything and start over. So, but back when we were in academy, let me see if I have some photos here. One of the things that we used to do was go to conventions. This was the academy. Oh, I missed it so much. So we had like 10 computers, very simple room. Like, it was nothing fancy, but it was a very cool experience. And we used to go to, look at this, like old Abe right there doing some some presentations. This was back in 2019. So we used to go to conventions and have like our little stand for people to know what we were doing, to present our stuff. And yeah, it was just a long time ago. Well, not that long, but that's how we started. Like, that's how we started making networks. And then eventually in those networks, like events, in those like presentations, you would meet someone that they would then recommend you to another place. And yeah, Harambe was a student of ours back then as well. There's a surprise coming very soon about Critical Hit, but I'm not gonna spoil it just yet. But let's just say Critical Hit's not dead yet, or not. It's not 6 feet underground. It's dead, but it's not 6 feet underground. So it's Halloween session. We might have a zombie Critical Hit. Let's push the wings back where they're supposed to be. Yeah, but see, with Critical, I learned so many things. Like, Critical Hit told me so many things from like from an entrepreneurship sort of like what's the word? point of view, I learned a lot of things. And one of the things that I learned, and I've learned this even more in the last couple of years, is that most entrepreneurships, like most new businesses, are going to crash. Like, that's just the reality of it. I think there's something like 80% of new businesses will eventually crash. So it's difficult to build a business that's going to like be sustainable for a long time. So, but the more you do it, the more you like create businesses and projects and things like that, the easier it becomes, and the more you learn about how to keep things afloat. Backboy says, or Black Ops says, I'm from Montreal, Canada. My daughter is half Mexican. I have spent 2 years in Mexico City. I love your food and your culture. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. I've never been to Canada. My brother was in Canada, but and I have family in Canada as well. I believe they're in Quebec. And I would love to visit one day because I love the snow. I want to see like big snows. 3D Hours says, I used to teach at an art school as well. Kind of miss it sometimes. Yeah, I had a presentation last week at the art school here, like the States University. They had a big event, like a big national event, and I was invited to do a workshop, like an introduction to Blender workshop. It was great, and it brought back a lot of like good feelings about it, because it's not the same. I mean, I love teaching and I love streaming and doing YouTube and stuff, but it's not the same to actually have the students there and see their faces when they get it. You know, when they're like, oh, there you go. And yeah, it's just a slightly different feeling, I would say. Yeah, of course, man. Like I'm definitely like planning to do that. If I ever travel to other countries, I'm gonna let you guys know, and maybe I'll get to meet some of you in person. That would be great. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the feet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the feet. I think I'm gonna do 2 toes. Kind of looks like a 2-toe character to me. So let's do 1 cut right there and another one right there. Yeah, Daniel, events are really important. Another thing that I think it's quite important is hobbies. Hobbies are a great way to meet people that might not be into, like they might not be of your same industry, right? Like they might not be 3D artists, but they share a common hobby, right? So if they know that you have that sort of like skill, they might ask you to do things related to the hobby on your specific thing. My hobby, as you guys know, it's D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, RPG games and stuff like that. So I've had people tell me, hey, I want to do or could you do a model for me? Could you do a miniature for me? I would love to print it or paint it. And they're not 3D artists. They are like engineers or lawyers or whatever. And but they know that I'm a 3D artist, and they're going to ask you for commissions, right? We call that freelancer commissions. So again, the more you meet new people, the more opportunities you're gonna get. I remember learning this not so long ago, actually. Like that's what happens in YouTube. It's a numbers game. So people have come to me like, hey, I want to start doing YouTube as well. What do you recommend? It's like, of course, like have something interesting to talk about, but just do it. Like just do it, and the more you do it, the more you're gonna learn. There's a very famous video about Mr. Beast. Have you guys seen it? Where he says, do 100 videos. Just do 100 videos, and they're gonna suck. No one's gonna watch them, but just do them. And after those 100 videos, you're gonna learn so much. And now you can talk. Now we can start talking about like the important things that you can do to actually improve. But you need to get it out of the system and get good. Pretty much like practice and get good before you can start seeing that. And that's what we're seeing here. Like we started the channel like 4 months ago, and the first videos got, I don't know, 100 views, 150 views. The last video that I uploaded on Sunday, was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. The action video, it's almost to like 1,000 views. And hopefully in a year or 2 years, we're gonna have, I don't know, 10,000 views and things like that. So it's all about like learning, improving, and not giving up. I think this applies in a lot of things about life. Now I sound very philosophical talking about all of this like life advices. But hey, if that helps you guys, I'm happy to do so. Let's add, as you can see, I'm reusing here the teeth as a claw. That's why the insert multi-meshes are so good. Saves you a lot of time. So instead of having to do this all over again, to just reuse it. You're gonna have like a very big claw right there. And to have like a little bit of asymmetry. There we go. I don't think we're gonna be able to finish this for what's the word, like UVs and textures, but we're gonna have another live stream on the on Friday, so maybe we'll just focus on the sculpt today for the character, and on Friday we'll continue with texturing and UVs and all that stuff, because this is definitely gonna be, this is definitely taking a little bit longer, but it's becoming a lot more complex. Like a fun little character. And I was expecting to do a jack-o'-lantern. That was the original idea, but you guys both have imp, so we're doing imp. Go. Let me just place this and I'll read some more messages because I get a little bit too focused there. Sorry. It's a little bit too big. There we go. Yeah. I like this. I really like this character. Looking good. Let's see. Daniel says, what is the best college or something like that to learn 3D Avatar? I would say Gnomon, man. I mean, I'm a Gnomon graduate. There's my certificate right there. So, of course, I'm biased. But Gnomon has been winning, like, the Rookies Award for, like, 10 years straight or something like that. Like, they're really, really good. Like, really good. It is expensive. I went there when the dollar was not as expensive as it is as today. I went there in 2013, so 10 years ago. But yeah, of course, Gnomon is really, really good. There are other ones in Spain. I think in Spain there was a school called Trazos. So if you guys are in the UK, in Europe, and you speak Spanish, I think it was called Trazos back in the day. I'm not sure if they're still going. That one had a very good reputation as well. There's a lot of, and this is the thing. This is another thing that I want you guys to consider, because I've seen this happening quite a bit on the industry so far, and I don't like it. We westernize a lot of things. So we think about fantasy, and the only type of fantasy we think about is this, like Dungeons and Dragons and imps and things like that. There's so many cool things out there, and I feel like there's a lot of people that are doing very cool things in other countries, like indie stuff and things like that. So make sure to open your horizons there. Like don't think that only like Western video games, like again, like the traditional Call of Duty and things like that, are the only way to do video games. There's so many other like proposals out there. So keep your mind open as well, because that's what brings life to the whole thing. I know this is it looks a little bit hypocritical for me saying it while doing a very traditional imp, but this is just like a basic character. That's what I try to do with my courses. If you've seen that kind of characters, not always, but I've tried to do like more unique looking characters every now and then. Backboy, let me allow your message. Give me a second. It says Animum, where I studied, but yeah, expensive. Yeah. That's the thing with schools, right? They're expensive. I remember when I went to Gnomon, it was a big effort. I actually had to work on another field for a year before I went to Gnomon to save enough money to go there. Because it was not only was the school expensive, the living situation in the United States is quite expensive as well. It was quite expensive back then. I had the fortune of having family in Los Angeles, and where I stayed at an aunt's place. Her place was literally 5 minutes away from a bus stop, and the bus stop would drop me directly in front of Gnomon. So it was just like I don't know if you want to call it like a God's destiny or whatever, but I was very fortunate, and I know I was very fortunate to have that opportunity. That's another one of the reasons why I like to share all of this, because I know that not everyone's going to have that opportunity, and I find that a little bit unfair. So if I can share this at a more affordable price, even though it's not the same thing, of course, I like to think that it's a good way to give back to the world, right? Maybe that's a little bit idealist or something, but that's how I see it, at least. 3D Hours says, I graduated from 2 art schools and taught at a third. In my experience, it doesn't matter much where you go. There are great teachers and terrible teachers at every school. That's right. To succeed, it really comes down to the students going above and beyond to master the skills. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, and I agree completely. Like, there are a lot of schools out there. There's a lot of really good schools. There's a lot of really bad teachers. Even at Noman, I had horrible teachers. There was a teacher that was so bad that he was fired midway through the through the semester, or through the period, through the term. We got our reimbursement and everything, and we had to take the class again because he was not bad as an artist. He was just a fucking asshole, like horrible person. Rusi Sakura, welcome to the stream. I can find the Spain one. Maybe I'm writing it wrong. It's called Trazos. Let me see. Trazos. España. Again, I'm not sure if they're still going or not. There you go. Yeah. Trazos. 25 years of experience. They're good. Like, I've seen their stuff. They're good. I don't know anyone that went there, but in the other side of the world, again, I think this is a really good option. So it's called Trazos. I remember that was one of the things that I was looking at when I was looking for schools. Yeah. That was a horrible, like they're just assholes out there. Like, there's no other way to put it. There are some people that are just assholes, and that guy was one of them. I remember I had an issue with him, and that was one of the reasons why he was fired. Because I've always been, I don't want to say that I'm a good guy, but like, everyone has like their shit, right? But I've always been a good student, so at that point, what happened there? I presented my work and he just didn't like it, right? He was like, nah, this doesn't look good and whatever. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, just tell me what you don't like and I'll try to fix it. But he was being really, really mean. And then another one of my friends, he didn't even do the work. He didn't do the homework. And he didn't got as much shit. So it was like, one of my friends presented. He didn't have his stuff. He didn't get much shit. And then I did present my stuff. The teacher didn't like it, and I was getting a lot of shit about it. And then another one of my friends who was like, hey, why are you being so mean to A? Like he did a good job. It looks okay. Like, you don't need to be an asshole, right? And he was like, oh, I'm gonna say whatever I want. And I was like, I didn't say anything. I just like suck it up. I was like, that's fine. If you want to say whatever, I'll take the feedback. But then he did that to other people, and we all just complained. I was like, this guy is just an asshole. And the school fired him. I don't even remember his name, to be honest. Says, yeah, I have a story. Yeah. he thought he was the ball from Whiplash. Whiplash is an amazing movie. Okay, let's see. What do we need to fix now? I think we got a very good like vase in general. We definitely need to clean a couple of things. Can exaggerate the forearm there a little bit. There we go. This guy at my first art school, he would literally tell people, I don't know why you're even here. This is so terrible. You should probably choose a different career. And this was a design basics course, literally a first class you have to take at school. Yeah. See, I took a design class as well, like similar to what you're mentioning. It was called Viscom 1. And I sucked. Like, I never drawn before when I went there. And the teacher, he was a great teacher. Oh, what was his name? Mark Hanna, I think. He's an amazing artist, traditional artist. And he was very blunt with me. He's like, dude, you need to work on your stuff. Your perspective sucks. Your shading is very splotchy. Like, he was very hard on me on the feedback and critique, but he was not mean. He literally did it so that I could grow and learn as an artist. And I think those are the kind of teachers that are really good, where they tell you like straight to your face, this sucks. But they do it in a way that you're like, okay, I need to fix this. I need to learn. I need to improve. Because if they just do it to hurt you and to make you feel bad, that's just being an asshole. Says, I actually used to use my stories of this design basics teacher as a lecture to my students about how not. Yeah, I agree. I always use this thing called the sandwich technique whenever I'm giving feedback. It's a very common psychology trick where even if it's like the worst thing that you've ever seen, you always tell the person something that's valuable. Something's like, okay, this might be the worst model or the worst render I've ever seen. But before you tell them that, you tell them, I like how you did, I don't know, the composition, the colors. There's always something that you can say about whatever they did that's going to be like good or at least salvageable, right? So you start with that. You give them props for something that they did right, and then you give them the hard like truths, like this is good, but all of this is bad. You need to fix this. You offer solutions. That's a very important thing because there's a lot of people that are just going to critique your work and they're not going to offer any solution. They're not going to tell you how to fix it, right? And then after that, then you again finish up with something good, another like good things. Like, okay, so good thing, bad thing, and then you finish with good thing. It's called the sandwich technique. Oh my god! Still waiting for the t-shirt. Yeah, we're looking at ways. We already have. Do you guys? I'm not sure if you guys know this, but we're already like active on YouTube. We got the membership thing or something. So I'm trying to see if we can get the Shopify thing, and maybe that's gonna be the easiest way for me to get you the shirts, to get the uniform. We got this one, the always learning, always improving, which is our motto. Let me see if we can set that up soon. My method was just to really keep the focus on what changes could be made to improve. And that's the thing, right? Like, it's fine to give feedback, but you should always, as you're mentioning, you should always give students a solution. Like, what is it? What good is it to just like make people feel horrible if you're not offering any solution? Let me look for an imp. I want to do the wings now. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Imp. I don't want to do demon wings. What do you guys think? Do you guys can you guys think of a different type of wings that we could do? Because everything, or do we need wings? We could do it something like this. Can we do it without wings? What do you guys think? Wings or no wings? Can we do a poll, Sarn? Let's do a poll. Let's see if we do a wings or wingless. And then if we do wings, we'll think about something. Butterfly wings, nah, that's too whimsical, I would say. Wings, Aki says he wants wings. Yeah, I think wings is probably gonna win. Wing looks supposed, this looks kind of like a gargoyle or something. I like it as well. The animation would be like quite interesting. I would need to modify the pose a little bit because we cannot have this character just like floating. Rigging wise, it would be a nightmare. Vampire small wings. I also think small wings would be funny, to be honest. I feel like small wings would be bee wings. Yeah, the poll is up, guys. So check it on the upper part of your chat. You're gonna see the poll. Let's see, wings or no wings? Like butterfly wings, that would be funny as well. Let me just I just want to try how a butterfly wing would look. It would be like something like this. He looks like an evil tooth fairy if we do like butterfly wings. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we're 50-50 wings, no wings. Ah! Do we have a deciding vote? Oh, that was 50-50. Let's do another coin toss. Let the destiny decide for us. So heads, it's gonna be wings, and tails, it's gonna be no wings. Let's do toss a coin. Heads is wings. Tails, no wings this time. No wings. Okay, that's a good one because even there. Oh, thanks, man. I'm actually, again, as I was mentioning, we're thinking about doing an anatomy class soon, and I want to do. Let me know in the chat. I've been bouncing this around. We've been bouncing this idea around. I love doing premium courses, but I'm thinking about doing a live class, like a workshop sort of class. It will be probably on the weekends, and it will probably be on the Discord channel. It would definitely be something that's going to be like an extra, kind of like a premium class, because it's going to be live and we're going to be interacting. But let me know in the chat if you think that's a good idea. It's not going to be soon. It's probably going to be early next year or something. But let me know what you think about that idea. Tail. I think we can do a tail. I think we can do a traditional tail. But first of all, we need to fix the pose, okay? So the problem with this pose is that this pose was thought as for when we were going to be doing the wings. But now, since we're not going to be doing wings, it's important that we have a more neutral pose so that we can rig it a little bit better. No, I don't have a price. I don't even know how much we would charge for something like that. So we need to find something, because I know there's people out there that charge like $500 or something like that, and it's just like, that's way too much. I'm not saying that I don't think my art's valuable like that, but I just know that not everyone can afford something like that. And even though I don't want to make it like $10, right? We will need to find like a nice balance point for everyone. But yeah, the workshops is one of the things that I want to do, because I think it will feel more like a traditional class. I know it's going to be online, right? It will be impossible for me to travel all over the world, but I feel like that will be a nice way to do it. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to save this. Let's save this on the desktop for now. Let's call this imp. And we're going to use T-Pose Mesh. This is a relatively new tool that we have here instead of ZBrush. It's called the where is it? Proxy Pose. There we go, Proxy Pose. So I'm gonna click Proxy Pose, and what Proxy Pose does, as you can see, is it like brings everything into a single element. It kind of like dynameshes it so that we can like mask it out and pose it a little bit better. And after that, we are just gonna click on Proxy Pose and we go back to the origin. Now, the problem with that one is that we're not going to be getting like the horns and everything, but that's fine because we're actually not going to be changing a lot up here. We're going to have to reposition the nails and the toes, but should be fairly easy. It says, yeah, it's challenging, especially in this academy right now where everyone's, yeah, exactly. So perceived value gets distorted. I understand. There you go. Hey, we got RBM Gamer. Welcome, man. Are we near our follower goal? I don't even know how many followers we have. Or did we lose some followers? Did we lose some followers? I'm not sure. So I was sure we were very close to our we're close to our goal. Anyway, so yeah, what I'm gonna do here again is I'm gonna proxy pose and I'm gonna add a floor. So append, let's add a cube, and this cube is gonna act as our floor. So I know that the pose is probably gonna be at this distance, so I'm gonna bend the fingers here a little bit, so probably around there's where we would have our floor. And it's important to have a sort of like a ground plane just so that we know where things are. Let's go back to this guy. For instance, I'm gonna grab this guy right here and rotate them around. Again, as I mentioned, the toes are gonna be like not where they're supposed to be. There's not much we can do about it right now. And now I'm gonna grab arm right around that position. We're gonna do it something like this. So he's probably gonna be using his arms to walk, which is interesting. Yeah, I think this is, since this is going to be his main pose, I'm going to leave him like this. That's something that you need to ask yourself when you're doing a character. What is the pose that he's going to be the most in? And if this character is going to be like literally moving with his hand and this is going to be the pose, this is going to be like your T pose. I know it's not a T pose, but this is going to be like your default pose, because it would be very weird for me to do a complete T pose with this guy if he's always going to be here, because by doing this, then moving all of the arms to this position, it might be a little bit difficult. Oh, my little foam board like fell out. So just keep that in mind. Now this one's, we might be able, no, because it's the teeth. So I'm just going to have to, in this case, I'm just going to go to select lasso. Let's just select all of those and delete hidden. We're just going to bring the claws back later. Let's go back to this one. And again to the proxy pose. Where is it? Just unable the proxy pose. So yeah, there we go. You can see the deformation of the muscles is looking nice. I'm just going to make the elbow a little bit sharper there. 3 more for the goal. Okay, we're 3 people away from the goal. Dawi says, my YouTube video with highest views is a mudbox tutorial from years ago, sculpting a Thanksgiving turkey. Who the fuck even cares about mudbox? Just forced to teach it for a while because the school didn't want to make beginner students pay for ZBrush. Are you gonna rig this guy eventually? Yeah, I think we're gonna rig it. I like this one. Like, I haven't done a full character in a while. I didn't focus on other things, so I think I'm gonna be rigging this one. I'm gonna give him, you can see here, I'm gonna make him a little bit of a longer leg. There we go. Tail. You guys wanted a tail, right? Let's go for a tail. So, should we do the traditional like imp tail? Like just a fork point at the end? Yeah, so the proxy pose is a relatively new thing. It's kind of like decimating the mesh without committing to the decimate so that you can pose it a little bit easier. And then once you're happy, you just like reduce it or take it away and it's going to bring it back. So it's just a more efficient way to pose things because you know that the more topology you have or the more points you have, the more like complicated it becomes. Okay, so live classes are a good idea as you guys are voting right there. Yeah, we're going to be exploring some of those options. Again, probably early next year. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing them in December. Who knows? Maybe. But at least probably next year. Because November is going to be the character course. The games character course. And then December, I'm thinking X-Gen for December. Because the X-Gen video that I released was a good hit. So maybe a full X-Gen course might be a good idea. Let's... fix this one here a little bit. Yeah, I know, man. I need to update it. Believe me, if I could keep... I still have my old license, like the ZBrush 2022 license, which was the one before Maxon took over. And if I could continue to use it, I would. But since I need to teach the new stuff, I'm forced to pay a freaking subscription every month, which sucks. Definitely sucks. Okay, so let's go to a curve brush or a curve tool. Let's do this curve tooth. Okay, let's remove symmetry. I don't like that. Should we do like spiral? Like a little coily thing. Kind of like a monkey, right? So that kind of makes sense. The problem is that it's just not centered, which I hate. So here's what I'm going to do to try to center it back. I'm going to go to subtool. Well, first let's fix a little bit on the curve. So I'm going to go to stroke, and on the curve functions or on the curve thing here, I'm going to do a... Where is it? Where's the modifier? Where is it? Oh, it's here. It's the curve, and it's the curve function, curve modifiers. There we go, curve fall off. So I want the fall off to change. Hey. That's weird. Why is it not updating? Oh, there we go. Size. There we go. That's what I want. Stroke. Keep it a little bit higher. It's way too much. That's a little bit better. Let's make this one a little bit smaller as well. That's better. And then I'm going to add a point there. And do a sharp kind of like end at the end. There we go. There we go. So now that we have this, I'm just gonna press Ctrl W. That's gonna give it its own polygroup. And now that it has its own polygroup, I can go to split, group split, hit OK. And I'm just gonna select this thing, get as close as possible to the center. Even if it's slightly off center, that's fine. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Dynamesh. And I'm going to do a mirror and weld. And that's going to give me a perfectly like proper effect. Let's just get this right there. smooth this out. And now if I want to, I can just go to this guy, go to merge down and hit OK. And when we Dynamesh, it's gonna combine both elements. There we go. That's how you can create a very nice tail. Now, I did create it this way because I know that if we're going to be animating this guy later on, I don't want to have like this like flowy curve and flowing tail going around. It becomes a little bit difficult to animate. So we're just going to have this sort of like springy tail on the back. Yeah, it looks like a monkey tail. And this looks like a monkey imp. I would say that's like the main inspiration for this one. Cool. So yeah, this is looking nice. I like it. Horns. Do we add detail to the horns? Like segments? I think so. I think a couple of segments might be interesting. So gonna add this line right there. Then this line right there. We definitely need to increase the resolution. And by increasing the resolution, we're gonna be able to get a nicer detail. So do you guys celebrate Halloween or not celebrate, but like go trick-or-treating? Here in Mexico is not that common, to be honest. I mean, people do it, but I've never did it. In the United States, they did. When I was there, it was a huge thing. It's kind of like a like a national party or something. Neither in Georgia. Yeah, it's more of like a Western thing, I think. Yeah, Dia de los Muertos, of course. Yeah. They sell this pan de muerto. Very famous. Pan de muerto. It's a very tasty bread. Show you this one. So, and right now it's very cold, so hopefully we keep this temperature for the next couple of days because it's very, very tasty to eat some of this pan de muerto with hot chocolate and that's it. They do celebrate the Dia de Muertos a lot more in the south of Mexico. Here in the north, we're very westernized because we're very close to like United States, so we don't like celebrate it as much. But it's always a good moment to, you know, remember our ancestors, the people that passed away, and honor them. Right? It's a good tradition. It's a fun tradition. I celebrate by eating candy corn. I don't like candy corn. I don't like the taste. I like the Twizzlers. I think they're called the red things. Those are fun. Those are tasty. But I think my favorite candy from like the United States are the sweet tarts. This sort of like acid sour things. Sweet tarts. Very nice. There you go. Yeah, not bad. What do you guys think? Not bad for 2 hours, right? Let's use our insert brush to bring back our claws. There. Kind of like a velociraptor's claw right there. Let's go for the fingers. Let me turn off the plane. I would no. I know my limitations, man. I know my limitations. No. See, I consider myself to be a good teacher. Like if I had to do like a sculpt tough teaching class, I think I will have good chances because I do consider to be myself a good teacher. 3D artist, I consider myself to be a professional, like good 3D artist, but there's so many more talented people out there, like really talented. So I know my I know my level. The guys that do the sculpt stuff, dude, those guys are insane. But thank you for for thinking that. I like to decorate my house and also buy candies. Yeah, nice. Wow. Yeah, Sculpting is this event that they do every now and then. Every year they do it at the ZBrush Summit, and it's a competition. So they give, I believe, like a topic, and I'm not sure how long they give people to work on it, but you get to sculpt something, and then they decide who the winner is. Yeah, the thing that we do celebrate quite a bit here in my home is Christmas. So we're gonna have our Christmas special as well later in the year. Look at that. Let's delete this one. There we go. Not bad. Our monkey imp is ready. Look at that. I'm happy with this one. I haven't been happy with a with a creature in a long time. I've been working on a lot of things lately, so I'm happy with this one. Looks fun. Have I ever? Yeah. Imposter syndrome is always a bitch, man. And I've been feeling imposter syndrome ever since I started this thing, so I don't think that one's ever going away. It's like a silent voice that's always on the back of your head. Have you ever roto animated? What is that? I'm not sure. I've done rotoscopy to like remove people from backgrounds and things like that. I hate it. It's very boring to do, but I've done it. But no, I don't do a lot of roto nowadays. What are the next moves until the end of this year? The next moves for the channel. So this month or November, we're gonna be releasing a full character pipeline that's gonna involve Marvelous Designer, ZBrush, Substance Painter, and Maya probably, or Blender. One of those two. So we're gonna be doing that's gonna be the November's course. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to get it by mid-November, but if things get a little bit tricky with the studio over here, it's gonna be like late November. But it's gonna be November. It has to be November. And then December, it's probably gonna be a smaller scope course. So that's why I'm thinking about XGen, like a quick introduction to XGen, as well as some like again, like basic things about it, like how to deal with certain types of hairstyles and things like that. That's going to be probably it. Other than that, we're going to continue with daily, well, not daily, like every other day videos instead of YouTube. This one's going to be there soon. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's probably going to be another contest on December. I learned a lot about the contest on the last contest. It was very, very cool. So yeah, Xenophons, will any course be on Skillshare? No, my friend, we're not using Skillshare right now because Udemy has this exclusive thing, and they don't like it when you upload on other places. So it can be a little bit tricky to do that. But I can say a little bit of upcoming things. I can say that we're working on making maybe our own platform, so we're not gonna be Udemy dependent anymore. Hopefully that allows, because I know some people can't access Udemy from certain parts of the world, so we might be able to jump to our own platform very soon. Are you planning on making a Substance Painter course? Yes, we're planning on making one. I still need to think about how to do that one because Substance Painter is usually like a secondary tool. So things are 1080p on Udemy, by the way. All of my courses, you can only, like, when you upload, you get 720p by default. But if you ask them, they can upscale it to 1080p. So I upload everything 1080p. It just takes a little while for them to update it. But all of my courses right now on there should be at 1080p. So yeah, we are thinking about the Substance Painter course. It's going to be coming next year, definitely. Yes, it's definitely gonna be next year. And the idea is to have like 1 month is gonna be like an introduction level course or like low intermediate level course, and then another month's gonna be like an advanced level course. We're gonna be like switching around those sort of things. But the best way you can hear about this is, of course, by joining here. Like if you're not following, if you want to follow, go ahead. You can also check our YouTube channel where we upload all of the information, and of course our Discord, which is very cool, my friends. So yeah, Monkey Imp ready, or at least the high poly is in a very good position. I'm probably gonna be polishing this one a little bit off camera, and then Friday we're gonna have our traditional stream at 11 a.m. It's gonna be a little bit later than today. Today it was a little bit earlier because I gotta take care of some stuff in the next couple of hours. But yeah, we're gonna probably continue with this guy. I think we're gonna go through the retopology and texturing process on Friday. So yeah, let's see how that goes. And I think that's gonna be pretty much it. Yeah, Sarn there is sharing my link tree, so all of my socials, all of my stuff is right there on that link. And let me just go full screen real quick. Oh, you know what? I did not record this video. Fuck. Nah, don't worry. I'm gonna be able to download it from Twitch and upload it to YouTube, but I forgot to record this one. Rusya Sekira, thanks for the little support, man. Let's go here to full screen, and yeah, that's it, my friends. Hopefully you like this Halloween special stream. It's been, as always, an honor to be here with you, my friends, and I really like the result. I think we did a very cool thing. This one's gonna be on YouTube tomorrow, so make sure to tune in if you want to see the whole process, if you missed a part. And I'll be seeing you back on Friday for our next live stream, and of course in all of our socials I'm gonna be there available for you. Thanks, my friends. Thanks, Arn, for the support. Thanks everyone for coming, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye bye.